Sherry, I forbid you to spend another night here. The hotel's reputation won't survive a second investigation.
A free ride for every hotel visitor. Just tell me where to go.
Is everything all right? If you don't feel up to it, I won't tell anyone.
It's just a goodbye, John. It won't be difficult. I've already come to terms with my mother's passing.
So you really don't remember?
To what do you refer?
The funeral. Sherlock, you were distraught. At first, I thought this visit would dredge up those feelings, but you've been remarkably level.
John, I think I was too young to understand. I couldn't fathom why she would leave me.
Perhaps that pain is best left forgotten.
On the contrary, it's why I'm visiting her grave. To remember her.
I thought you wanted to remember, Sherry. Concentrate, and I'm sure it will come back to you.
Mycroft was adamant that we leave for London immediately after the funeral. He never told me why, but I saw how unsettled he was by the long requiem. The service was sparsely attended. Though my parents were buried separately, the pastor said they're united in heaven. I didn't believe him even then. I wanted to see her one last time before the coffin was interred and say how I loved her. The chance never came. I feel rather faint.
You're fine, you're fine. It's over now. We remembered everything. It will get easier soon.
A pocket watch? It seems familiar, John. Why is it here?
Rest in peace, Violet Holmes. Goodbye, Mother. This watch was a gift. My mother's initials are engraved on it. The piece is in good condition. It must have been placed here only recently. A candle in a small puddle of wax. It cannot have been lit for more than half an hour.
Is this really how you want to spend this time?
This is my mother's pocket watch, John. Who put it here and why? Are you not in the slightest bit interested? A man in fashionable shoes stood near the tomb. The size of the print suggests he is approximately 5.5 feet tall.
This is excessive, Sherlock. Can you not let the mystery be? You were about to tell me the make and model of tyre, but let me assure you, I do not care.
Well, it was going to be very impressive. Come on then, the trail continues ahead.
He mustn't be far away to leave it unattended.
It's stained with oil paint. A portable easel was kept there. The Hospitaller crypts. If memory serves, they're located at the far end of the cemetery around an old tree. I hope that inspiration strikes upon visiting these beautiful vaults. At the very least, you'll enjoy the view. Yours, Mercuria.
An artist working in a cemetery? Do you think he'd paint my portrait?
Oh, it's that ridiculous artist from the hotel.
Be nice, Sherry. Make friends.
Mr. Holmes, did you come for another portrait? No, I jest. You gave quite the performance last night. The hotel was abuzz with your name. I must say I was rather absorbed in it all. The fallibility of men. Such scandal.
It was a welcome distraction.
Oh, my manners. I am Werner Vogel, art enthusiast and gallery proprietor.
Mr. Vogel, I was perhaps too curt when last we spoke.
Speak no more of it. Travel takes it out of any man, never mind when this is your destination. Once I learned who you were, the pieces fell into place. Your mother was well liked on Codona in her time here. I was sorry to hear of her passing.
How did you come to possess my mother's pocket watch?
Oh my! It is quite something to witness those powers of deduction firsthand. Yes, I left you her timepiece. After her death, there was an estate sale. All of Cordona's elite picking of her remains. I couldn't let such a lovely thing go to those vultures. When I learned your name, I could no longer keep the watch in good conscience. It is yours by right, and I knew you'd find it here.
Thank you. I'd forgotten all about it, but the moment I saw it, I knew it was hers. Amazing what the young mind forgets and the older can recall. Rather odd, loitering in a cemetery.
I suspect you'll win, but I'm here for my art. There's beauty everywhere if you look, even in decay. A little darkness brings out the light. Now, a diligent observer might note that you too are loitering in a cemetery. What brings you here? Closure answers penance?
Closure, I suppose.
And what is closure? Mere proximity?
Understanding. Acceptance.
You didn't understand from afar. You had to come here to accept the truth of her death?
Of course I understand. She died of consumption, drowning in her own blood.
Your mother?
Yes, my mother.
I must have been misinformed. I'd heard otherwise.
Otherwise than consumption?
No, you'd know better than I. I'd heard talk of a police investigation, but Cordona is a notorious gossip. And what does it matter? She's passed on either way.
She has.
Well, I shall intrude no longer. I'll leave you to your closure. Do stop by the gallery if your travels permit. Farewell.
Are you all right, Sherry? Take as long as you need.
Whatever I need, it isn't here. We should explore Cordona. Perhaps there are archives that may shed further light.
Extra! Look at what you've done! Criminal Luca Gallici, posing as a medium, confesses to the strangulation of a noblewoman. The cheapest news on the island. Thank you.
Stark do this, Stark do that. I'm not a clerk, damn it. How am I supposed to get those records now? Yes? What is it? Would you like to report a crime?
No, I wouldn't. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I want to use the police archives.
Wouldn't we all?
I'm serious.
So am I. Officer Logan locked himself inside and he's not letting anyone in.
But why the archives? Won't that stall everyone's work?
You bet it will. He's looking up all the thieves in Cordona over the past decade. Say one thing for Logan. He's persistent.
What happened exactly?
A tailoress from Scaladio's been robbed. Logan spent 2 whole days at the shop sketching the thief, and she still insists that it's all wrong. That shrew drove him up the wall, she did.
Would you mind if I talk to this tailoress? I could get you the sketch in no time.
Get off your high horse, mister. You think you're better than our sketch artist?
Actually, I'm quite certain I am. Let me prove it.
Well, I see no harm in it, as long as it gets Logan out of there. In fact, I need to look up some records too. Here's the address. Good luck.
I'm pleased to meet you, ma'am. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm here to sketch the thief for the police investigation.
Oh, another one. I hope you'll be more patient than the previous sketches, signore.
I suggest we do it differently. You have a great many clothes here, haven't you?
Why, of course, but they're not for sale. I only do tailoring and mending.
No matter. I'll attempt to disguise myself as the thief, and you'll tell me if I get it right.
As you wish, Senor Holmes.
Can you describe the thief for me?
He was all ugly and beat-up looking, an utter rascal if ever I'd seen one. He gave me a nasty look from behind his glasses and then made himself scarce.
And that's it? Could you be more specific?
He was a total villain, I told you. How much more specific do you want me to be?
All right, never mind. Where can I find the clothes?
They're in my workshop at the back. Be careful, won't you?
What can I do for you, Sherlock? Ah, look at this old chap putting on airs like some Italian doge. Why don't you disguise yourself as him instead?
We have a job to do, John.
Oh, come on, at least do him first.
Uncle Giovanni? Oh, signore, you look exactly like my uncle. He's the grandson of the Doge of Venice, you know. I knew you reminded me of someone. You are as alike as two peas. Perhaps you have some royal blood in you too.
That is flattering, I suppose, but I sincerely doubt it, Mum.
I told you he's a doge. Now that's a deduction.
He's not an actual doge.
If you say so, my lord, the doge. John has wares if you have coin.
He did wear glasses, but not like those. His were angular and evil-looking.
All right, I'll try another pair.
Your face is too innocent now.
What do you mean, too innocent?
There was something evil about his face. Like a moustache. Yes, the kind that all villains twirl as they plot their evil plans.
I'd say that not all villains wear moustaches, but I get your point, Mum.
Ah, it's you. I mean, it's him. It's him.
Excellent. Now I can make a sketch and take it to the police.
Yes, please do. That rascal is still on the loose. I hope they are better at catching than sketching.
Before I go, Mum, are you quite certain that you don't have any clothes to sell?
Well, I suppose you can take the police uniform. An officer forgot it here years ago, and I don't have any use for it. If you want to buy clothes, visit the outfitters. You can find them all over Codorna. I hear they even do free rentals now. Let me show you where the nearest one is.
Thank you very much. Hello again, officer. I've spoken to the tailoress and made a sketch of the thief. It was child's play.
No, really? And she didn't give you any trouble?
No trouble at all. She was quite tolerable.
Huh. Who would have thought? Hey, Logan, we've got the sketch. Come on out.
Can I use the archives now?
Well, they're generally not accessible to the public, but you really helped us out, so I'll just turn a blind eye.
I appreciate it, officer.
What did you say your name was? Holmes? Come and see me after you're done. I may have a proposition for you, Mr. Holmes.
John, I just recalled that we were living here on Cordona in a manor. And there was a policeman.
Really? What else do you remember? What happened to our mother?
The memory was vague, a mere flash. I have to find our house.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
I'm done with the archives for now. Can I help you with anything else?
As a matter of fact, you can. The thing is, our chief inspector has vanished, as if we weren't undermanned enough as it is.
Wait, what do you mean, vanished?
Gone missing on a case. Shady business, but that's besides the point. See that board? Pending cases are posted there for any available officers to investigate. I would take them myself, except that I've been told to work the reception desk, like some clerk. Yes, we're that short-handed.
I understand your predicament, but what does any of it have to do with me? I may be available, but I'm certainly not an officer.
Oh, don't worry about it. Consider yourself a temporary one-man independent police force. That's a bit of a mouthful. There's just one small, minor basic formality. You'll need to complete our physical training course. Easy.
Well, I'm not one to balk at a spot of exercise. What must I do?
That's the spirit. Sergeant Ermy will show you the ropes. Follow me.
So, you're a newcomer. We must be desperate to ask untrained civilians for help.
You're lucky to have a well-trained civilian with a brand new auto pistol in his arsenal.
An automatic? A bit of a braggart, aren't you?
Are you trying to test me already?
That is why you're here, boy. I need to verify your skills before I can allow you to catch criminals. The first targets are in the next room. You know what to do with them. I'll join you in a while to see the results.
Concentrate, Sherry. You need to hit every target to show the sergeant how we do it.
Hooray!
Proceed to the next room. Meanwhile, I'll fill out the paperwork.
Come on, Sherry. It's just like in childhood. Steady, Sherry. Steady. And go. My favourite mannequins for attack. Let's strike them ninja style. Aim for where you might take advantage and don't forget the environment.
I could do this all day.
Please don't, Sherry. We don't have that much time. Let's move on. Our enemies might be stronger than us, but we rely on our wits. Shoot off their armour.
Hooray!
Alright, let's move on, Sherry. If you stand here and use your snuff box on them, you can definitely overcome them, Sherry. It's all calculated. Ah, Sherry, you've guessed that you can't use the powder when he has a helmet. I've been sending you brain signals.
Helpful advice, John. I would never have guessed.
Good job, new boy. Well, I'm almost finished with the paperwork. Let's talk about your results. Well, I must say your results aren't as bad as I feared. Perhaps you're not completely hopeless, but true combat is quite different from shooting stationary targets.
I'll handle it just as easily.
Well, that's what we're going to find out. Now, we'll test you against our men. Your task is to detain them, not to kill them. So don't go shooting anyone in the eye. That goes for in the field as well. Even though you'll be working with the police department, that doesn't mean you have a license to kill. Here, take these. They are blank rounds. So, are you ready?
Always ready.
Then let's get cracking.
Worried?
Not at all. I can hit them all with one shot.
Good luck, Sherry, and remember, the surroundings are your playground.
I'm coming.
No more crime for you until next month. Don't cry, you'll live.
We can overcome the brute now.
Take a rest, my friend.
The snuff's ready.
That's enough. You've proved yourself. Congratulations on the arrests. I can't believe you did so well with the close combat.
I did tell you that I'm well trained.
Well, do the same on the street, and you'll be well rewarded for every arrest you make. Here is your certificate. You are now an authorized crime scene consultant. Well, it's now your duty to make this city a safer place. Cordona won't ever forget it, but at the same time, it will never remember. I'll tell Stark all the necessary details about your successful certification. Congratulations.
Now you're a certified crime scene consultant. Congratulations.
Thank you, my friend. Now, shall we head for Stonewood Manor?
Don't know. You have the whole island to investigate. It's all up to you.
Any progress with the case, Mr. Holmes?
Hey, Sherry, there's post here, and it seems as if the letter was delivered recently.
After reading that, I am even less eager to return home than before. Let's investigate our manor.
That's the Mycroft I know. Predictable.
There she is. Our old manor. It's smaller than I remember.
You were a couple of feet shorter back then, Sherry. Or maybe it's bigger on the inside.
Look at the ash all over the door. I don't recall hearing of a fire. We don't have to stay here. You can afford another night or two at the hotel. It's stuck. Oh well, let's just head back. They probably haven't even stripped our room yet. Come on. Must be locked. Move aside. Let me have a go. Seems fine to me, Sherry. This barrier. Perhaps it's mental, not physical.
Or perhaps the rest of us are simply constrained by reality, John. I wonder if there's a key secreted somewhere in the garden.
Take a look around, Sherlock. I'm sure you'll discover something.
Why does this barn give me such an unpleasant feeling?
Oh, I know. It's because Mycroft used an axe to shoo you out of here. It scarred you for life, but I enjoyed it.
I did not expect these to still be here. It was enjoyable to practice using real handcuffs to make an arrest.
Hey, that's Wooden Joe. He was always the best at playing criminals.
An irreplaceable tool for catching a thief. And this must be the reason our suspect was apprehended. Wood and glass, oh, very precious. Funny, Wooden Joe reminds me of the trouble we once got in with the police. Do you remember, John?
Somewhat. Maybe we can recall more details.
The policeman brought us both home, John. That's why he was here.
I'm pretty sure he brought something else with him too. Do you remember what it was? I bet it was our reward.
No, we were not so lucky. It was a set of lockpicks that we had used to sneak into someone's house. That's why we were arrested.
Did someone come out to investigate all the commotion?
It was Mycroft. He smoothed things over and convinced the policeman not to press charges. The officer left and never returned. But we had to endure a serious talking to from my brother. Mycroft wasn't happy about the fact that we were arrested. It felt like he lectured us for hours.
Did we give him something afterwards, Sherry?
Oh, yes. Yes, now I remember. It was a letter. That's why we snuck into the house. Mycroft asked us to. He wasn't angry we stole, but that we got caught.
Oh, that's right. It must have been only a couple of months after we moved to Cordona. Ugh, the good old days.
Whoa.
How very odd. It appears that memory stood between me and the manor. It's as if my mind palace had seeped into the real world. This deserves further investigation. Perhaps there's more to discover inside.
As long as there is a comfortable place to put my feet up, I'll be happy. Maybe a chaise longue.
Aha! In we go.
Home sweet home, Sherry.
Hey, this is the luggage we brought from London, isn't it? Something did happen that day, but no one can tell us the details. How can that be?
Agreed. It's rather suspicious.
I remember how angry Mycroft was about these marks. He called it a frivolous, childish endeavour. Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it.
I heard footsteps upstairs a second ago. Wait, do we have an attic here? And I was wondering why it's so empty in here.
There may be a small chance that some of our property could be found among local traders' wares. It is worth a look, wouldn't you say?
You'll never find such magnificent paintings anywhere else. Just take a look. Make your garden cozier with our goods. My goods will brighten up your house. Enjoy your purchase.
Best place for reading.
garden's much prettier, don't you think? I bet the memories are all flooding back now.
My mother liked the story of David and Goliath. She said it doesn't matter how small you are, you can always overcome any obstacle. Ah yes, we were sword fighting in this very spot.
And that time I was the winner.
So, as your victory prize, you asked me to fulfill a wish. I remember we did something the very next night, John, but what was it? We brought a cage with us. You insisted it must be made of iron.
That's because we were preparing to hunt fairies in our garden. Everyone knows iron is the only thing that can hold them.
And I was distinctly uncomfortable.
It was a disguise, of course. Fairies are easy to scare off, unless you're incognito.
And every trap needs bait. We brought honey and a glass of warm milk.
After 2 hours lying in wait, we noticed movement in the bushes. The fairies appeared at last.
No, it was just Isolde the pig. She was lured by the smell of honey and milk, and ate every last drop. Isolde belonged to Mr. Sim in Miner's End and escaped regularly. At least twice a month we would see him searching for her all over the island.
Hey, is anybody at home? Hello?
Mycroft's umbrella, the only outgoing thing in his wardrobe. One of the first things I saw when entering this house as a child. It's like déjà vu.
Another memory incoming, Sherry.
Strange, I struggle to recall anything about the day we moved in. The only detail I'm sure of is that it was raining early that morning. There was always a hat on our stand, but I'm sure it did not belong to Mycroft. Our mother brought a slew of belongings with her. She refused to leave a single thing in London. Mycroft had to spend the whole day dealing with it. This trip was a challenge for our mother. I tried to help her.
Do you feel it? Is it the air shimmering, or is it my imagination?
Your neighbors will be told that Mrs. Holmes is suffering from tuberculosis. It is common to move closer to the sea in such cases.
Thank you, Dr. Richter. No, Sherlock, step away from her. Upstairs, go to your room.
Lean on me, Mother. Take your time.
Actually, I never heard her coughing. I remember now.
Oh, I feel dizzy. It's stuffy in here, isn't it?
John, are you all right?
I'll be okay in a minute. How about we find our room in the meantime?
Look at this. It's like travelling 10 years into the past with a single step. Oddly satisfying. Need to repeat this one day, but with bullets. I'll never forget how challenging it was to obtain this simple sketch. Oh, these must be the notes of my earliest observations. We wanted to locate a particular dog we'd spotted, and we met it, didn't we?
Oh, it reminds me of our neighbour. He had the same balloon in his yard, only bigger. Do you remember?
Yes. We visited him several times while living here.
This time I was first to pick beds. This one's mine now.
The first chemical laboratory I ever made. I almost miss its elegant simplicity. Look at this, John. Remember how desperately I wanted to learn the violin? I never had a proper opportunity.
Such a shame. I always hated the rule about being silent in this place.
Interesting. What's that over there? This doorknob has a cross-shaped end. Too intricate to be merely a handle.
You know what? That definitely looks like a key. Let's poke around and see if we can find any secrets.
The only fiction book on my table. I can still hear my mother reading it to me. So many pleasant evenings were spent here with the Encyclopedia Americana. A magnificent tool made for a spurious purpose, staring into the sky. I've definitely found a better use for it.
You mean for spying on people?
An artifact from Palau carved out of bone and claimed to be 300 years old. My mother proved it was a fake. My very favourite plaything. It was the perfect pirate treasure. Cannot believe all my toys are still here.
Hey, they were not just yours, they were half mine too.
first chemical laboratory I ever made. I almost miss its elegant simplicity.
Nah, doesn't fit here.
Perfect match. My small archive of crime clippings. Maybe I should pick up this habit again. Still has a faint odour of tobacco, one of the few things on this island that smell like home. Made of cherry wood, Father's favourite.
I knew you'd find it in no time. Wasn't that neighbour missing a finger?
That does sound vaguely familiar. Wasn't his name, Theodore? Theodore Gilden, perhaps?
It's the perfect time to investigate.